50,600 subscribers. Mhm.
Wow, that's great.
Yes, that's what it is. But even right now, we're alive. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? As I always like to say, I try to get going with my signs. Say good day, good day, good day, good day. But
Good.
you
I
know,
like that. Yeah.
and it different in regards to that or whatever. It's like, to me, it's like having or waking up with that positive attitude, that positive energy. Because once
Yes.
again, I think when you get up in the morning time, we are in our control our own destiny, and a lot of time it all depends upon how we feel. Like to me, like right now, if I get up and I'm saying to myself, "Oh man, I don't want to go back to work. It's Monday," and you start saying to yourself, like, "Oh man, it's going to be a miserable Monday." I think we have to change that, and that's what I saw
Yes.
reciting. Marvelous Monday. Today's going to be a marvelous Monday. Today's
That's
going to be a
right.
marvelous Monday. So the
Yeah,
difference is, regardless of what go on that day, it was a marvelous Monday. But
that's
anyway,
right.
I see I got 20 people on right now. And hey, listen, thank you for joining me. This is Brian Glaze Gibbs. This is, my platform. And right now, anybody know my background? Like to me, I'm a reformed, gangster. And what happened is, like, I was a sick individual that got my life together, got a second chance. And I'm with, I'm saying, Dr. Ronnie. Dr. Ronnie is like, explain. I'm introducing Dr. Ronnie. Dr. Ronnie is your Floyd. Let them know who you are.
Okay, so I've been in the wellness field, in the holistic alternative field for about 30 years or more. And the reason why I know that is because I remember when my daughter, who's now 35, when she was a baby, I got really, really sick. And that's the time you're supposed to be really, really healthy, right? You got a newborn baby, you cannot be sick. And I realized at that time that all of my friends were my colleagues, I would say, were doctors and nurses, and nobody can help me get well, right?
Wow.
So I'm living in the world of wellness, health fields, but no one could help me. So I literally had to help myself. So I worked in hospitals all around the country. I mean, the best hospitals like Yale, like Cedar Sinai, like literally some of the most powerful hospitals in the country. But I couldn't get better. And the reason why I couldn't get better is because what was wrong with me was I was toxic. So I went
Mm.
down that road trying to help myself. I literally went back to school to become a naturopath. I started out as a pediatric nurse. Then I worked in the emergency room. Then I worked in the surgical unit. And I just worked myself up until I got sick and I went back to school. The point I'm trying to make here is that how I got well, learning that not only was my body toxic, but we lived in a very toxic world. At that particular time, I was in California, and they were spraying like trucks would just like spray you for like no reason. And there was like if the mosquitoes they sprayed you. I don't care what bug it was, because see there it was all about growing vegetables, right? So you couldn't have bugs if your vegetables wouldn't grow. And I remember saying, my grandmother said, corn's not supposed to be growing overnight. I remember being in a particular area in California, and I rolled down the street and it was like no corn. A couple of weeks, like 2, 3 weeks later, I go, where'd this corn come from? That's when I started learning about growth hormones and pesticides and everything. And I realized that toxic body, toxic environment creates chronic illness. So I
Mm.
started learning about chronic illness and how to start helping people. And I would tell people, let's go back to nature, right? Let's put natural things in our body, because natural things in our body is what's going to get us to optimal wellness. But everybody needed to know what that meant, because the doctors would say, here's a pill, and they would say, eat less. They would say, exercise more. All the things that they were telling us to do wasn't working. So, what I'm saying here is that, let me plug up for a second.
Even as you got us on hold, you know what, Dr. Ronnie, like, I went back and did my history, and I see that you was on the Oprah Winfrey show, you was on the Steve Harvey show, the Wendy Williams show. So it's like a lot of you like you don't rub elbow with some of the best, some of the top celebrity that's out there these days in time. Hey, folks, listen, I'm on a live with Dr. Ronnie. And basically, right now, like, how me and Dr. Ronnie got together in regards to Pronoxol. But even what I was saying is, I know, and I did my research on you, and I've been seeing like you with like Steve Harvey, Oprah Winfrey, Wendy Williams, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute here. Like, how did that came about?
Well, see, okay, so what happened was, so I became a naturopath, and so people all around the country was after me after I had my New York Times bestseller book. So that New York Times bestseller, the 21 pounds in 21 days, see, great title, right? But literally, I just told you that I just wanted to help people get well. But little did I know that obesity was a chronic illness. And so a
Hmm.
celebrity started contacting me and asking me the question that people should have asked us, can I really lose 21 pounds in 21 days? So I would literally go with this celebrity and I would end up going with that celebrity and they would lose 21 pounds plus more in 21 days. So,
Wow.
but that was not the miracle. The miracle was their blood pressure would get lower, their cholesterols got better, their libido got better, their brain focus got better, their skin got better, and on and on and on. So really, the weight loss was just a side effect. Really, that wasn't the miracle, but that was something that
Hmm.
people were excited about, and that's how I became known to the celebrity world. And I've done that for a lot of years, and I went on all these major TV shows, all these major radio shows, but then something happened because my world became working with celebrities and politicians, and something literally happened. Besides, before COVID started, I want to tell you, it happened even before COVID. Being a Christian, I just woke up one day and it just kept nailing at me. Just, like even this one doctor said to me, "What are you doing? You really need to help the masses." And that stuck in my brain. Help the masses. What do you mean by that? And how do I help the masses? I live on this tiny little island called Martha's Vineyard. And that's how people get to know about me. They fly in on their private plane. They get to know there's a Dr. Roni there and she does, all of these innovative treatments. But what my real focus was, what my real passion was, and what it still is, and why I'm so excited to work with some of the people that I'm working with now, is I really think that we can go back to nature and we can help our people and people all around the globe get healthier by being cleaner, by being to get removing the toxins from the body, putting in high power nutrients. And when I say high power nutrients, people think that's hard. It's not hard. Let me tell you, one glass of juice, one glass of green juice. Yep, you need a juicer, but one glass of green juice give you the equivalent of 5 to 6 servings of vegetables. So if you
Okay.
cook 5 to 6 servings of vegetables, and you, instead of cooking it, putting it in the juicer, and you get 8 to 10 ounces of that, think about the amount of minerals and antioxidants that you're putting in your body, and you're just drinking it. If you did another drink that's sort of like antioxidant, you just take all these berries out there like blueberry,
Okay.
blackberry, raspberry, goji berries, resveratrol. I mean, I can go on and on and on. But
Hey,
we
listen.
know what they are,
Mhm.
right? That's
We do.
powerful.
What I want
Powerful.
to do is, what I want to do at this present time, I see people that's on there, the underscore ninth underscore power, Joan Allen, Mark 4, my guy. Hey, Special K, listen, any of y'all, yours truly, somebody got high blood pressure is bad for me. That's why we have so much cancers, because once again, like right now, what the sense of having knowledge? Like, look what you did. You say you got sick. You got
Yes.
sick and your daughter was 5 years old. So the difference is you want to make a difference. But not only that, the people that you was in, your people, your family, your friends, close associates, they was already medical doctor, but they couldn't help you. So the difference is you went out there and you apply yourself and you knew what you need to do to get healthy all over again. You did that. Mind over matter.
Highly motivated. I had a daughter. And I think so many people, like one of my partners always said to me, he says, your body does not belong to you only. Your body also belongs to your family. And we owe it to ourselves to keep ourselves healthy, because at the end of the day, if something happens to us and we leave loved ones behind, the first emotion is anger. And a lot of people don't know that. I know that. I was angry when
Yeah.
my father left us here, right? So we belong to our loved ones. We supposed to, and we owe it to them to be the best that we can be, right?
I never look at it that way, and that's very powerful because once again, like you say right now, is this our body's our temple. And to me, like right now, is like I went through hell in my life, from the first, like between the age of 14 and 24. And I guess right now is like whether I was bored, I knew I was traumatized because some of the things that I experienced in life, and I turned to the life of crime. And like when I used to get so upset, how can I love my other people if I don't love myself? So
That's right.
people do not understand that everything go back to everything, the basic principle. Even as I'm listening to you, as far as that 21 pounds in 21 days, and how like not only that, the extra ingredient they got from that going on that fast or going on that diet, they was able to clean all that toxin, all that poison out of their system, and they was healing themselves in a way that they would never have been able to heal themselves if they didn't buy into like what you was saying, what you was doing. Anybody can listen, but if we don't apply it, that's all we doing is listening.
And the other thing is, people don't realize that, we hear cute little terms like body, mind, and spirit, but no one ever really think about what that means. Like someone would say to me, well, I feel like crap. I said, well, that's right. Look what you're putting in your body, crap, right? So in order to feel good, it's body, mind, and spirit. You put good stuff in your body, you're going to feel good. I mean, even, we're very excited about Panoxol and what it does to our body, how it's going to move our blood flow and how it's going to create oxygen in our bodies. That's why when you look outside and you see people running, the same person running, no matter whether it's rain, snow, sleet, or hell, that person is
Listen.
running, right? Why is
Mhm.
that? Because they're creating nitric oxide in the body, and that creates happy hormones. But
Yeah.
there's so many ways that you can do that. You can create it with food. You can create it with just being in your home, movement. So there's a lot of ways to create a happy, healthy feeling, because a lot of people think that when they get depressed that they should go to sugar, and what that does, it decreases your immune system and make you feel worse, and people don't know that.
Even like even earlier, even before we went live, and some of the things that we was talking about, and even in like previous conversation, because once again, like the older you get, your body is a temple, and you got to take care of yourself. So even with that being said, because even some of the information that you gave me last time, I meant to follow back up. Even me and Critique, like I don't know whether he talked to you about that, because we were trying to get down there. I don't know where he get this idea from, but we were trying to get down there for Thanksgiving, having like a face-to-face live with Dr. Ronnie, So
Absolutely.
but the huh? But see,
Yeah, absolutely.
that's what it's all about. Because once again, like with me, I'm a believer. Like even right now, when Critique told me about Panoxol, initially, okay, it's like you don't believe it or whatever. Okay, so did anything, but right now, once I start taking it and start like utilizing it or whatever, you're right. I'm a big fan of black coffee in the morning time. Now I have to do that. So it's like, even right now, with my energy as far as working out and doing all that stuff or whatever, it's like when you look good, you feel good, you do
That's
good.
right. That's right. And you owe it
Mhm.
to yourself,
Yeah. Like you
because
said, your body. Yeah, I like that. It's not us. We got to make sure we preserve ourselves for our loved one. We got to
that's right.
make sure, because you right, that pain. When I lost my mother, oh my God. You thinking about like right now, when I lost my mother, my father, my big sister, my best friend. And you
Yeah,
talking about that been over, like you say, 30 going on 32 years ago, and I still feel it. But what I'm
right.
looking at now is like, what? Like, what did I put the victim and their family through? But in that token, it's like, you're right. That's why I'm doing everything I need to do and get myself together to get everything back. That's what
That's
life is all
right.
about.
I love that. I love that. When you're highly motivated, it's most of the time it's because you're feeling better. And when you're feeling better, you start doing better. And then you start helping other people because you want to stay in the zone, right? So some of my most powerful people that have changed their lives and their family lives and their loved one lives are those who have what's called support and community. Like you have a community, and your
Mhm.
community, they're on your platform because they want something, right? Whether it's a story, but at the end of the day, everybody wants something. So you want to feel better, look better, and be healthier. And also, the knowledge that we're gaining every single day is telling us that we are no longer in a position to sit back and not take care of ourselves. If you don't get that by now, I'm afraid for you, because they're telling us every single day that it's about your immune system. It's about your health if you're going
Hmm.
to make it. You are no longer going to make it if you continue every single day to poison your body with some of this most toxic information and toxic food and toxic environment. You know,
Hmm.
it's all of it. It's all toxic. So when I wake up in the morning, I pray. A lot of people wake up in the morning and go right to the toxic news. I think you should pray before you go there. The other thing you should do is put in some good nutrients in your body before you go there, because I have to have a little bit of happy hormones before I start increasing all of my fear hormones. Most people wake up in fear. Did you know that? In the last
Yeah.
2 years, people are now waking up with a fast heart rate.
Wow. You know what?
Yeah.
Let me read a couple. I got one guy say, Glaze, what's up, big brother? And great afternoon, sister Dr. Roni. Even right now, I got hello, Shante. Um, Glaze, you know what I'm saying? You are a great inspiration. Even right now, special case, so many cases of colon cancer among young people due to our diet. Okay. See, that's deep. Then you got another one. Somebody says she's beautiful and smart. Reminder to do better. Hey, listen, like even right now, so many cases of colon cancer among young
Yes.
people due to our diet.
That's right. That's right. And when I talk about the four highs, and I always like to say it like that because it's like over 84 million people have it. And let me tell you what that is. It's high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high sugar, and high weight. So if you can remember that, the four highs, over 84 million people. I mean, that's a lot of people have that condition. But you know what created that is food. You know, our food supply have failed us for many, 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 many years. It didn't just happen overnight. So over the years of having all processed and bad food that create these chronic illnesses, the good news is that it can be reversed,
Okay.
right? If bad food, toxic living create it, then you can reverse it. And so
Hey,
that's my role and that's my goal in changing and helping the masses, is by first helping them with vascular blood flow, and then helping them to put the good nutrients back in the body so that they can help and repair their body for the best and live an optimal healthy life. And in that way their brain focuses better, and then they can work on their goals, not the opposite. Because brother, so many people work on their life goals, and then exactly when they get there, they get enough money and they go, now I can work on my health. Do you know that 50% of it, it's too late?
too late.
50% of them will never be able to do that at that point. So the goal is to work on your health while you're working on your life goals, not afterwards.
Special K, she came. We need to go organic. Put organic, but organic is expensive. So, which is true. Even right now, like something that you say, like about the corn, it's like here it is. You went past this area. Okay, no corn. A few weeks later, where all this corn is coming from? Because a
Right.
lot of times what they do is mass production, so they don't care. They're using all the chemical, all these ingredients, and basically, like you see some of the fruits, some of the vegetables, so huge. Like, what are we
That's right.
doing? So that's the difference. That's what's setting us up in the first place. That's what we getting, or we think we getting like all this nutrient and all this clean ingredient, but we getting
Yes.
poison.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And my grandmother died at 100, and
Wow.
my grandmother, she had a third grade education, and the one thing that she taught me a lot. The one thing that she taught me was that
Dr. Ronnie, come back. You faded.
um,
Okay.
all natural. She had white coat syndrome, which basically means every time she was around a doctor, her blood pressure would go up, right? And she would tell me that all the time. And I always find that in our culture, we still have white coat hypertension or white coat uh, anxiety, whatever you want to call it. It's just that we don't believe and we don't trust the doctors. So saying that,
Come back. I can't hear you. I lost you,
how
Dr.
to
Ronnie.
first put back the nutrients.
You back?
Yeah.
Okay. See, even right now, like I was listening to you, and I was trying to understand when you say, like, we get white coat anxiety. So it's like anytime you're going to see the doctor, automatically your pressure go up, your heartbeat rate fast, everything,
That's
because
right.
once again, we look at them, for the most part, the battle of the bad news. We don't look at them
Right.
as good news. We look at, like you go into the principal office.
Right. That's
Mhm.
right. And so that's what my grandmother taught me, and I found out that she was absolutely 100% true. She didn't have high blood pressure, and they kept trying to make her take her blood pressure medicine. So can you imagine not having high blood pressure, taking high blood pressure medicine? She would have never made it to 100. So but she had wisdom. You don't need to have degrees, you just need to have wisdom. And you need to understand that a lot of us need to just go back to nature and understand why our grandparents, or why did they live a longer life than what we're living, and why our younger children are not going to live as
Right.
long as us. So each generation get more toxic, and each generation become more compliant on what they hear. And you don't get good life or good health by hearing the things that we're listening to today, and
You're
without
right.
going into it.
Blacksmith, thank you. Somebody put Blacksmith. I'm proud of you, brother. Shanti D, she say alkaline water is great for you. I remember years ago, I used to like read a lot of books, and one book stood up in mind. Dick Gregory, Eating, Cooking Good with Mother Nature. And right now is when I read that book, and he has something as simple as this. You take two babies, you take two infants, you breastfeed one infant, and then you give the other baby the formula. And you'll see which one is more healthier. And even right now, like he was
Yeah,
saying, like a human wasn't made to, digest cow milk. Just like the human body wasn't made to digest flesh. So it's so many different things, like so much a life lesson that I got out of that book. Because once again, it's so much of things that I stopped eating right behind that, and I have to get back to the original basic. See that basic instruction.
that's right. And I knew Dick Gregory very well. He would come to the island and can't come to Nantucket. And one of the things that he was very advocate about, always talking about, was keeping your organs clean, keeping your colon
Mm,
clean. And as you said earlier about colon cancer, it's starting younger and younger and younger. Colon cancer starts very young because of what people are doing very young, and I think that, what people need to.
you faded again. Your speaker went out.
What are the nutrients that help us with our tissues? And I think that once we understand that, you'll now know why colon cancer is growing rapidly. And I've done a book on, my thesis was on detoxification in a very toxic world, and I talked a lot about the different herbs and different supplements, and all natural, on how to keep your cellular level clean. And a lot of it is just starting with some basic vegetables. It doesn't have to be hard, but juicing them, and starting with juicing some berries, and removing the process. And the easiest thing is three things: do not open up a bag, a can, or a bottle, unless you know what those long words are on the back. If you don't know what those, my grandmother said that. She said, if I don't know what that is, she said, I'm not eating that. What's that? She said, I don't even know how to pronounce that. Why am I going to eat it?
But look what you just got finished saying. Do not open up a bag, a bottle, or a can. Because once again, once that, the food go into a bottle, what I'm saying, go into a can, or go into a bag, right now is they already lose all the nutrition. It's already gone.
That's right.
We already snuck the life out of it. So only thing we doing is eating something that's dead.
That's right. And then when you eat something that's dead, how do you feel?
Right. That's what make us feel drained, tired,
That's right.
lazy,
That's right.
like
Right.
unhealthy.
Right.
You know, Uh,
The vicious cycle. Like when people come and they do a detox here, we had a young boy. Which was very sad. He was 13 years old, 320 pounds. He's 13. He just came out of his mother 13 years ago. How does he get to be 320 pounds? So
Wow.
What happened is his entire life, his entire 13 years of his life, he was eating processed foods. One of the things that help boys to create obesity is increase in estrogen. There's a lot of things that help you to increase your estrogen levels, right? So you blow
Mhm.
up. The other thing is that what happens is, like I said earlier, you don't feel vibrant when you eat dead food, right? So this young boy, all day, he was just sitting on, what do you call those? My granddaughter has one, not the laptop, but iPad,
Yeah, the
you know.
iPad.
So all day he's on an iPad, and he never walked, never went up a flight of steps. He would just get out of bed on his iPad and wait for his mom. And his mom was a really sweet lady, and she says, I cook real good food for my son 3, 4 times a day. First mistake. What First mistake is, what is real good food? Second mistake is 3, 4 times a day without him even moving out of the house. So we have a lot of education that we have to, you know, help our people with, because some of them just don't know. That's just something that they grow up with, cooking all day, but no one's educating them on what to cook. Some of the foods that she cooked for her son sounded absolutely great. I even miss those foods myself, but the thing that I was trying to say is, not one of those things that she mentioned came out of the garden. It
Doctor,
came out of a bag. It came out of a can.
mhm. Hey, doctor, I got a question. It's a question for the doctor. Is Salad Jet good for you? S H
Salad
I L
what?
A. Salah. Hold up. SHILAJIT.
I don't know. What is that? Ask
Yeah.
them to
Re-
explain it.
Break it down, Mark 4. Break it down because I'm trying to see, say, is it good for you? You know what I'm saying? Muhammad, what's up? How you doing or whatever? And you know what, folks? That's what this platform is. That's what this platform is for. Ask question. Because once again, what we're trying to do is, like I told you, anybody know my background. I was a reformed gangster. Doctor, I'm saying, Ronnie, here it is. She been saving life all her life. You know what I'm saying? Since what you say for 30 years now, since her daughter was 5. Now your daughter is 35. So when you sit back and you think about it, how did we got together? And what do we have in common? What do a reformed gangster and a prominent doctor have in common? Like, even if you just joining me, like right now, I did my research and my homework on Dr. Ronnie. I done seen her with Oprah Winfrey, Steve Harvey, Wendy Williams, so many other celebrities. And the difference is, when you sit back and look at it, and I had the opportunity to build a bond and relationship with Dr. Ronnie. You look at me, where my background, where I came from. I came from the hood. So that's just show you how good God is. It doesn't matter, like how He put people into your life for a reason. So together, what we have in common, what we're trying to do is save lives. Because I know I got a lot of people that's on my platform that do not understand some of the things that we're doing to our own body. So even right now, as we met through Panoxide, that is a natural supplement that help hide. Like she say, what is the 4H, Dr. Ronnie? Can you explain the 4H again, please?
High blood pressure, high cholesterol, high sugar, and high weight.
Okay. Those are the
Over
4H.
84 million Americans. That is huge, huge. It hurts me to even say it, but I don't have to say it. We see it. At least I see it. I can see it in people. And I don't even have to ask them. I know they're on high blood pressure medicine. I know they're on a medication for their diabetes type 2. So, what we have in common is that we have to save lives. But the first thing is that we have to make people understand is that it's not going to get better. There's no magic pill. There's nobody that's going to call you up and say, this is what you take to get healthy. We now have to put healthy things in our body to get healthy. And that's learning what that is. And that's not only just learning what it is, but it's learning how to do it. Like I was saying to someone the other day, we can go back and grow vegetables. Who told us we couldn't grow vegetables in our own yard? Who said that we can't even grow vegetables in our kitchen now? You can even go that far. Hydroponics is now, we living in a world where we can do these things. uh, People think that it takes a lot of money to be healthy. I don't I have to disagree. I think that if we start somewhere, like if you go get some fresh vegetables, I think the amount of nutrients that you get from those fresh vegetables, you don't need to eat anything else. I think when I add up what people are eating, even when they go to the those restaurants, those junk food restaurants, and I add up the money that they're spending on that, trust me, I know better. I know they can do better. It's not that. What it is a conscious knowledge that we have to give them. And the other thing, what you're doing great work because you're giving them a community. And see, we need a community as well, because what that community is going to do is like minds stick with like minds. And if everybody together want to get healthy, then you're going to have more success. Because if you're by yourself, it could be lonely trying to get healthy by yourself. So, form communities and start understanding what it means to go back to nature.
Question. I got three questions really. Special K want to know, what is the active ingredient in panoxol?
So there's L-citrulline, there's L-arginine, there's red yeast rice, there is cayenne, there's ginkgo biloba. All of these ingredients, what it does, it produces nitric oxide. See, we have nitric oxide in our bodies, understand that. But as we get older, we have less of it. Also, when we have a chronic illness, we have less of it. So what it actually does, it produces good oxygenation and helps with good vascular blood flow. So what does that mean? It increases your energy. It increases your insulin sensitivity. It helps you lose weight. Just think of all the things that oxygen does. Okay. And we have more of it when we're young. That's why we run up the stairs with no problems. And then as we get older, we're lucky if we go up a flight of stairs because we have less nitric oxide in the body. So it does a lot. Those are just a few things that it does, but it does a lot. And because of that, it helps with your blood pressure. It helps with your cholesterol, helps with your sugar. It is a good start to a healthy nutritional program.
I got a couple more questions. One guy want to know, is eating potato, James Brown want to know, is eating potato good for you?
What potatoes? White potatoes?
He just say
No.
potatoes. No? Okay.
I
Then
I personally think that sweet potatoes, which is a lot of people don't know that sweet potatoes is a vegetable. It's a squash, right? White potatoes tend to have we call it a nightshade food, which also causes inflammation in the body. So white potatoes is also grown in a way that's not healthy. So 50 years ago, maybe 100, maybe white potatoes were good. Like I said, things are changing today, and white potato is considered a nightshade food and is no longer the healthiest thing to eat.
okay. Can you take Craig Brown want to know, can you take panoxol being on a blood thinner?
That's a really good question. I will always work with your doctor. Everyone should have a primary doctor because there's all types of blood thinners out there. But I can tell you panoxol helps with thinning your blood. So that's a good question for your medical practitioner.
Okay. Mark Ford, like he coming back, he say that word is pronounced Shilajit, SHILA.JEET.
Okay, that's great. So I'm going to research that for you, and I'm going to get back to you because I don't know what that is.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
But
brother. Thank you.
yeah, but even though, like, to you, and I appreciate you taking the time out. And right now is like with the community. What I want to do is I want to build. Even right now, Muhammad want to know, what is the best healthcare?
The best health care? And in terms of what? I think the best healthcare is becoming your own best self advocate, getting yourself a functional medicine doctor. And now functional medicine is the fastest growing healthcare out there. Why is that? It's because we're educating people online. While I'm online right now, some of my friends who are medical doctors are leaving their practice. So we're now going to start seeing a lot of really good functional medicine doctors online. Also, keep this in mind. The reason why that is, my brother, is because you are going to learn to be your own self-health advocate.
And you know what? And that's the best thing. And that's what a lot of times people do not understand. Like to me, it's like having an understanding of knowledge because once you sit back and think about it, when it come down to healthcare insurance, if you don't have a good job or your spouse don't have healthcare or you don't have like Medicaid. And even right now, I did something with damn, what's the name? Like, oh man, Marcus, I think Marcus Williams in regard to Care Click. Whereas like you have telemedicine. So many different things that's out there that for people that don't have insurance, and so many different people that's things that's out there for us to get into. And that's the difference. And that's what we're trying to like, making sure people are all aware that there are options. It's a different that when you don't know there's an option. A lot of times people feel I can't afford this, I can't afford that. You cannot afford not to be
That's right.
educated about how to take care of yourself. That's what you cannot afford.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's right. And that's why community is really important. Get on some of these communities who are all about health because you're going
Mhm.
to learn a lot from each other. You're going to help each other, and literally, you're going to need each other.
Okay. So, any more questions? Somebody say salute to the sister, Dr. Roni and B Glaze, everyone in the chat. Yeah, thank everybody for coming in. Like Special K say, the best healthcare is preventative care. And that's the difference. It's like these are things that we don't talk about. Like right now, I got 50,600 people subscribed to my channel, and I want that to be the people channel. I want to be able to talk about like everything as far as health is your wealth. A lot of times right now, retire before you expire, like different things, like what the sense of having a platform or having knowledge or having anything if you don't have nobody to share it with.
That's right.
So
That's
any
right.
more questions
That's
before
right.
me and Dr. Ronnie call it the day? Somebody asked a question: what's the benefit of eating red cabbage versus green cabbage? Norman McCory.
I love cabbage. Cabbage is an anti-cancer vegetable, and I think that they're both just equally the same. Red cabbage is becoming known to be a higher content of a cruciferous vegetable, but I eat them both.
Okay. Hey, but once again, everybody, listen, we got to do this again, Dr. Ronnie. What the difference is right now is what I'm trying to do is learn this StreamYard, learn on how to do the Zoom. Because once again, what I would like to do is like probably have like, a weekly, what I'm saying, chat that me and you can get together and that, like even right now on Instagram, I got like 14,000 people on Instagram. On Facebook, I got 5,000 people there. So the objective is what the sense of having it if we're not utilizing it right. So to me, like right
That's
now, the
right.
same way it's hey, look, okay, and don't take this the wrong way, Dr. Ronnie. I know I am not Steve Harvey. I think I'm better looking than Steve Harvey. I know I'm not Oprah Winfrey, or Wendy Williams and all the other top celebrity. But the difference right now is all about everybody. Health is about everybody. Health, it doesn't matter the wealth. Health is for everybody. The bottom line is right now is if I can be the richest man in the world, but if I got poor health, guess what? I'm poor. I'm poor.
So you let God use you. God's using you because natural healing to prevent chronic illness is everything. And I think that you deserve that. And we all, but we got to get back there somewhere. So I thank you. I thank you for having this platform because it's
Okay.
people like you that is going to change the world. And I'm not kidding.
I know, and you know what? Like I tell you, sometime when you go through hell, I've been through hell, and I always ask myself, like, what was the difference between me and anybody else? Like, I grew up, I've been shot at plenty of time. I say, God must be new. If I got shot in my finger, I would have been died. I would have died. But it's like right now, when you get saved, why are you saved? So, what is my purpose? I think it's three important days in life. Life to me is like a sandwich. You know what? Like you got one bread, then you got the ingredient, and then you got the other bread. So right now, the first important day of your life, the day that you're born. The second point
That's
that
right.
neat is when you figure out why. The third, and when it's over, when it's time to die. Somebody said, I quit smoking and about bought a vaporizer, and now I'm juicing, trying to get off the sugar.
Absolutely. There you go. And also, don't forget the protein smoothies. And
The
put a
protein smoothie.
open up a capsule, open up those capsules, chop up that panoxol, throw it in that protein smoothie.
Listen, folks, here it is right now. Dr. Ronnie, what is your information? How can I get people to follow you? But you know what? Better yet, when I get off the line and this go up, I'll get that and I'll post it with this post. I'll put it in the description because once again, knowledge is power. And like right now, this is something right now I'll be better prepared for in the future when we start doing this. Because once again, I enjoy your time. I enjoy your conversation. I enjoy your knowledge. I enjoy you taking the time out of your busy schedule. And me and Critique got to get up to the Vineyard. We got to make that happen. We got to make it
Yes, you
happen.
do. You're
Okay.
welcome. Anytime. Thank you,
Hey,
my
folks.
brother. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, folks, y'all have a good evening. Thank you for joining us. Join us next time. Peace, love, and prosperity. May God bless.